What's up, everybody? Y'all come on in. Come on in. What's up, Desiree? Come on in. What's up, Alexis? Yeah, come on in. What's up, David? What's up, Dolph? What's up, Brian? What's up, Kenya? What's up, Marsha? We'll give him another minute, y'all, and we'll get started. What's up, Javon? All right. How about we begin? Now, the title of this lecture is called Prisoners of Azkaban. Now, what does the word Azkaban actually mean? If you break the word up, Az is Oz, which is a reference to the ancestral realm. What's up in Kura? Ba is spirit or life force, and soul is and Ba, Ka is spirit of the life, is spirit in the life force, and Ba is soul / divine spark, right? But in the movie, Azkaban was Tartarus. You know, we've talked about this before. Azkaban was Tartarus, right? So what is Tartarus? Tartarus is the spiritual prison that all the Titans are locked down in. Am I right? That we've discussed before. So now, if all the Titans are locked down, who is over them? You see what I'm saying? If all the Titans locked down in this spiritual prison known as Tartarus, within the astral plane, which we know is Hades or Hellheim / the fourth dimension, right? So if all these, if these who are these beings that's guarding over Taurus? In Harry Potter, they call them the Dementors. So who are these beings? Who are these beings known as the Dementors? The Dementors are what y'all call the Archons. They're the mythological representation of the Archons. What did they do? What did they do? What were their abilities? It says in the stories that they call it the Mentor's Kiss, where they drain and suck all of your emotional energy, your life force energy, until you become pretty much a husk, and your soul literally pops out of your body. You see what I'm saying? And your soul literally brought you out your body. What's up, Chosen? What's up, D? So yeah, what's up, Beatrice? So when your soul popped out of your body, then that's when they take your shit, right? So this is what you got going on here. So who are these beings locked in Azkaban? They call them Death Eaters, or better yet, should I say, Darth Eaters. You see what I'm saying? Death, Darth. You see what I'm saying? You see the connection there? Death, Darth, Da'ath. What is Da'ath? Da'ath is the hidden sphere or the hidden portal on the Tree of Life in the Kabbalah that allows you to traverse to transport your consciousness into the Kalipoth. What is the Kalipoth? The Kalipoth is what they call, if the Kabbalah is the Tree of Life, then the Kalipoth is the Tree of Knowledge. You see what I'm saying? The Tree of Knowledge and mysteries. Magic and the mysteries usually account for magic, mythology, science of deities, and various other aspects. You see what I'm saying? But it's all about mastering self. Whereas the Kabbalah is all about helping, saving everybody else. The Kalipoth is about you. You see what I'm saying? And rebuilding your inner deity, or the Exodia, as they told you in Yu-Gi-Oh! The Exodia had 5 pieces. You had to put them back together so you can become a complete and whole entity. And once you put this entity, what's up, El Cristo? Once you put this entity back together, you become a fucking monster. You see what I'm saying? You become a fucking monster. God damn it, you become a fucking monster, and nobody can defeat you. That's what they literally showed you in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right? So now that's what the Kalipoth really is. So the most dangerous beings in this particular TV show or movie, the Death Eaters, they locked in prison. We the Death Eaters. You see what I'm saying? We the Da'ath Eaters. What does it mean? To eat means to what? You consume. But since you the Death or the Da'ath or the Darth, then that means you are consumers of the sacred or secret knowledge. And what the knowledge is, since they was the dark side, we know it's the knowledge of melanin. You see what I'm saying? The knowledge of melanin. The dark arts. You see what I'm saying? The Sith arts. That's what they specialized in. And they was led by who? Voldemort. Who is Voldemort? Voldemort is your dark side. He's the embodiment of your dark side. He's Harry Potter's dark side in the story. See what I'm saying? So they had the most baddest motherfuckers here. So Prisoner Azkaban, ancestral realm, ancestors, Ka spirits, Ba souls. So ancestral soul spirits, right? Banned or locked down in this particular prison, which is what we're in right now. See what I'm saying? Both this physical realm and this physical body. You see what I'm saying? Which is made up of this third dimensional matrix. So this you got going on here. So what happens when you escape Azkaban? This council of ministry who fear you, who is representation of the Cabal in this movie, sick their dogs on you, who are the Dementors, the Archons. You see what I'm saying? But the secret is the council of ministry, the elites are the Archons in the physical plane, the true knights, right? So this council of ministry, they are the Archon, the Cabal on the physical plane, but they summon or conjure the Dementors, the astral Archons, to do their work for them. You see what I'm saying? To keep these particular beings locked the fuck down. Because what did Voldemort do? Voldemort led a revolution to take back what? The magical world. Because he found out that these motherfuckers in powers had usurped the ancient energies. See what I'm saying? They didn't allow you to fuck with the dark side of the Force, the dark arts, your melanin teachings. You only can fuck with the light side of the Force, which is consciousness, astrology, astronomy, numerology, some light magic like defensive spells, stuff like that. You know, but they didn't allow you to tap into the full spectrum of the Force, because they knew if they kept you trapped into one polarity, you would never fully open yourself up to all aspects of the Force, because you need both dark and light to unlock all aspects of the Force. You see what I'm saying? To fully unleash your consciousness. You see what I'm saying? So this is what they know. This is what they know. This is what you got going on here. So they will seek these beings after you. You see what I'm saying? So here I go. Azkaban is where they kept the most powerful wizards in the show. They called them criminals, but it really Harry Potter's Harry Potter, that's who Harry Potter is, demonic forces, his monstrous forces, you see what I'm saying, of his melanin. All prisoners had serpent skull tattoos known as the Dark Mark. I got a video for that. But really, and they always had on their left hand. What does the left hand represent? Magic, the path of magic. Your right hand deals with society and how you live and operate in society. You see what I'm saying? You know your how you could be a divine being in society. Well, your left hand represents magic, the mysteries, the occult. You see what I'm saying? And your ability to tap into that aspect. But you got to balance the two hands eventually, so you can walk the middle path. So now and you can have the best of both worlds when you walk that middle path. You see what I'm saying? The path of the Force. So the path to the source. See what I'm saying? And when you walk that middle path, you are seeing through those chakras, have that Kundalini awakening and seeing back to your Godhead, and you become the true and living Jedi Master. You see what I'm saying? So this is what you got going on here. This is what you got going on. So it's called Death Eaters. You know, the Da off, the clip off. Then you had one who actually escaped the unescapable prison. Who was this? Sirius Black. Now, of course, we're talking about the Dog Star series. You see what I'm saying? The central sun to our sun. You see what I'm saying? The sun behind the sun, I guess you could say. You know, we got 10 suns in our... And we got 9... Yeah, it's 10 if you count Mother Earth sun. But there's 9 other suns in our immediate solar system. But Sirius is that hidden 11th star that's actually sending us energy as well. See what I'm saying? The 11 it represents what? Magic. See what I'm saying? The portal. So cause you got the two poles now. You see what I'm saying? The Ida and the Pingala knowledge. And your head, your consciousness is in the middle. You see what I'm saying? So now you taking full advantage of both polarities, and you're receiving that cosmic energy. So what was Sirius Black's abilities? He could transform into a dog. Who was the dog? Anubis. You see what I'm saying? The jackal-headed deity. So he was able to escape Azkaban. Why? Because he was God of the underworld. Since he presided over the underworld energies, they could not keep Anubis, the dog star, the dog soul, trapped in their prison. So he escaped it because he already knew how to navigate the underworld energies. You see what I'm saying? The pathways of the underworld. He already knew how to move and stick and move, bob and weave through this shit. You see what I'm saying? He already knew how to deal with that. So this is what you got going on here. So he escaped Azkaban, Tartarus, back into the astral plane. Now he in the 4th dimension dealing with this bullshit. In Helheim and Hades now. And he sought out who? Harry, who was Heru. And at Hogwarts. What was Hogwarts? Hogwarts was Harry's magical consciousness. You see what I'm saying? Or Heru's magical consciousness. You see what I'm saying? And he did what? He had to clear his name. The whole movie of Prisoner of Azkaban was designed to do what? Clear his name of all charges. Because he was unlawfully sentenced to prison in Azkaban. That shit sound familiar, don't it? That sound familiar. Who else unlawfully locked down in Azkaban? I.e. us. You see what I'm saying? I.e. us. We are those beings who connect directly with Sirius Black because we locked down in Azkaban just like he was locked down. And we have figured out through our occult studies how to escape, how to stage that prison break. Because what was Azkaban? What made Azkaban so powerful? It actually suppressed the magic of these particular beings. You see what I'm saying? Of these particular beings. Because when it was a magical prison. You see what I'm saying? It was a magical prison that was specifically designed and tailored to these beings, these titans who was locked down. So it wasn't until Voldemort came back and shot a bolt of lightning at the prison that freed the other prisoners. You see what I'm saying? Later on in the series, you know, I think he did that in Order of the Phoenix. Is either Order of the Phoenix or Half-Blood Prince, one of those two. But yes, when he shot that lightning bolt, he broke them out of jail. And when he broke them out of jail, they was able to do what? Use their powers. That scene there, which I'm gonna show y'all that too. That scene there is them showing us our opportunity, because remember, they still had to choose to leave Azkaban. That's the secret. That's the alchemy there. We gonna grant you the opportunity to get out of this hell, this prison, this magical prison. But you, the god / goddess, still has to choose to fucking ascend up out that shit, right? Right. So that's what you got going on here. So what? In Prisoner Azkaban, they was hunting down Sirius Black. They was looking for Anubis so they could do what? Take him back out. You see what I'm saying? They take him back out. So this what you got going on here. They was after your boy Noob the whole fucking movie. See what I'm saying? Your whole boy, because they wanted to lock down, because they knew that if they allowed Anubis to remain free, that he was gonna figure out a way to free everybody. You see what I'm saying? Which actually came to pass. They killed him in Order of the Phoenix, but not before they started freeing. Not before so it had to be Order of the Phoenix that they freed everybody. Not before they freed everybody in Azkaban. You see what I'm saying? Or begin to the operation. Because he was the only one who escaped Azkaban at his own free will. He's that starseed who like, alright, I got the keys to ascend up out of this hellhole. And now I'm about to go give it to the rest of the world. And so you know the fucking Council of Ministry, the current establishment, the Cabal Order at the time lost their fucking minds. You see what I'm saying? They lost their fucking mind because they didn't know what to do with this particular being who was free, this god. And they knew that he was an underworld god at that. So he was hard to find, hard to catch, like they showed you in the movie. You see what I'm saying? He was hard to catch because he knew how to move. You see what I'm saying? He knew how to move. So what happens next? The whole particular story is about Harry, this particular grimoire known as Harry Potter or Harry Potter. This particular grimoire here is special because Harry in this movie starts to come into his power. And let's go there. Let's start there. You start to see him come into his full magical power for the first time in the series. Up until this moment, he was kind of, being thrown around by the cosmic forces going on these different adventures. But it wasn't until this moment in time that he begins to tap into his raw magical power. And you see in the scene where he fucking snaps where he snaps, and when he snapped, guess what? He was able to unleash powers he didn't even know he had. We gonna show you that here in a second. Hold on. Let me get this technology operational. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh yeah, I've beaten loads of times. Excellent.
I won't have this nappy-happy, wishy-washy nonsense about not meeting people who deserve it. But you mustn't blame yourself about how this one turned out, Vernon. It's all to do with blood. Bad blood will out. What is it the boy's father did for Junior?
Nothing. He didn't work. He was unemployed.
And a drunk too, no doubt.
That's a lie.
What did you say?
My dad wasn't a drunk.
So let me just turn down the brightness a little bit and we'll be good.
A very firm grip.
I think it's time you went to bed.
Quiet, Vernon. You. Clean it up. Actually, it's nothing to do with the father. It's to do with the mother. You see it all the time with dogs. If there's something wrong with the bitch, then there's something wrong with the pup. Shut up! Shut up!
There you go.
Let me tell you.
Y'all get the point. So as y'all can see, this is a powerful scene because he erupts, his magical energy erupts inside of him, right? You know, ain't gonna get shit done. So as Anansi the Spider once told us, so when she started pushing his buttons, he snapped and his raw magical force came out, turned that bitch into a balloon. Turned that bitch into a balloon. Now, this scene is powerful because it shows you how you, the Starseed, is the chosen one, but your family, your sleep family, can be your worst enemy. See what I'm saying? She had no reason to talk about the man's dead mother or dead father. You see what I'm saying? That was unnecessary. But because she was just an asshole in this case, she tipped the scales and he snapped and he tapped into that raw magical force inside of him, and he turned that bitch into a balloon. So this is what we talking about here. This is what we talking about. Now, let's go over some of these sciences here about the tattoos and everything. You see what I'm saying? The Death Eaters, why they were so powerful, and we gonna keep it moving. We're gonna keep it moving.
The Dark Mark is a symbol of representation for Lord Voldemort and his Death Eaters. In the Wizarding...
Let me just turn down that brightness.
The Dark Mark is a symbol of representation for Lord Voldemort and his Death Eaters. In the Wizarding world, the mere sight of the Dark Mark would inflict fear upon all who cast their eyes at the mark in the sky, or the magically embedded tattoo on the arm of a Death Eater. But why did the Dark Lord create the mark in the first place? And what about the reason of creativity behind the design? Voldemort truly believed he was a unique and special individual. I believe he always felt different, but his ego was fueled by the fact that he was the heir of Slytherin, the successor to one of the greatest wizards of the age. Voldemort, in his own mind, was a king, and all kings have some sort of pictorial representation of their reign.
Let me stop there. Who is Slytherin? Slytherin represents your ancient forefathers and foremothers. See what I'm saying? Who are the ancient Nagas? You see what I'm saying? That's who Slytherin was. The ancient Nagas. You see what I'm saying? Them ancient dragon masters. Them ancient Anunnaki warriors and warriors. You see what I'm saying? And Needleroos and ancient Egyptians and Washita and all those. And those Asian immortals and so on and so forth. You know, the ancient world. Those ancient masters. That's who Slytherin represent. You got Hufflepuff, Gryffindor, and and Ravenclaw as well. You know, I think Gryffindor, that's the tribe of Judah. You know, Ravenclaw. You know, that's the eagle's energies. So that's kind of like the Native American animism. And then Hufflepuff, I forget what animal that represents. So y'all put that in the comments, and I'll tell you. But I know those two. Gryffindor was a lion, so you know we dealing with that Judah energy and the Ethiopian energy, and damn, just said it. Ravenclaw was that Native American animist energy. You see what I'm saying? So that's real. And then you had Hufflepuff. I just forget what their symbol was. You see what I'm saying? What animal symbol they represent. But yeah, these particular deities were all representatives of your ancestors. So they just split them up. They are all four of them are your ancestors, but the most powerful were the Naga kings. You see what I'm saying? The dragon king, the dragon kings and queens. You see what I'm saying? The dragon gods and goddesses, lords, and the dragon lords and overlords. So this you got going on here. This you got going on. So check this out.
No different, except his reign would be eternal. The spell of Mors Morday would conjure the symbol in the sky. It was cast as a result of any triumph or success in the name of Lord Voldemort. So this is pretty self-explanatory. It's the tattoo-like mark embedded on the left forearm that brings with it a valid reason for Death Eaters to bear the symbol. Voldemort didn't require devotion, he expected it. He would have wanted to make sure his servants were branded with his mark when carrying out tasks in his name. And due to the notoriety of the mark's reputation when cast into the sky, the sight of the same mark on a person would be the perfect tool of intimidation while spreading the word that the Dark Lord will rule all. The dark mark embedded on the Death Eater's arm was also a binding contract of loyalty that allowed Voldemort to summon his Death Eaters at any point and any time he wished. Should anyone defy his summoning, it will most likely cost them their life. I personally believe that that's the reason behind the burning sensation. It's a tolerant level of temporary pain they experience in order to prompt them to come to him, compared to the level of pain or further consequences they'll experience if they don't. Now that we've looked at the reason, I personally believe that that's the reason behind the burning sensation. It's a tolerant level of temporary pain they experience in order to prompt them to come to him, compared to the level...
Now, this symbol here, let's break that down for a second. No, there's three major things about this symbol. The skull. Skull represents skill and your ancestor, so it represents ancestral skill. The serpent, of course, is your Kundalini force, or the force inside you that you harness. And then it's wrapped around, it's like an 8. You see what I'm saying? 8. 8 is infinity. It's the infinity symbol standing up. You see what I'm saying? The vertical infinity. It's a vertical infinity symbol. So if you reverse it and turn it sideways, then it looks like the luminescence symbol, which is infinity. So they tell you what is the path to infinite power, and the path to infinite power is tapping into your ancestral energies, tapping into your Kundalini force, and you begin to tap into an infinite well or pool of magical force and power. You see what I'm saying? But you have to choose this. You see what I'm saying? This is where the realm of free will comes in. You have to choose this path of your own volition, and you have to choose to walk it, no matter the cost, no matter the sacrifice. That's the secret here. That's the secret alchemy here.
Of pain or further consequences they'll experience if they don't. Now that we've looked at the reason behind why I believe he created it in the first place, let's look at the possible reasons behind the mark's design. Voldemort is a dark wizard who likes to use intimidation to his advantage, so the symbol obviously had to be dark in nature. Now, there's 3 main parts to the dark mark: the skull, the snake, and the colour. So, the skull is a clear representation of death. Even today, if we see a skull on any sign, we immediately associate it with danger. Pirates adapted the skull on their flag as a symbol of intimidation, fear, and death. So it's not really a surprise that Voldemort chose a skull. And when it comes to the snake, I would immediately associate that decision with the fact that he was a Parselmouth, and also the fact that he was the heir of Slytherin. In addition to this, snake venom is used in many dark rituals. Voldemort required Nagini's venom as part of a potion he required to keep his rudimentary body intact. It could be argued that the animation of the snake moving through the mouth of the skull is a reference to how the basilisk entered the Chamber of Secrets. And finally, the colour. The colour of the mark being green...
What is the Chamber of Secrets? Your internal self. Yeah. You know, in the Kabbalah, they talk about these pathways inside of you. These are your meridians. You see what I'm saying? These are representative of your meridians, or what the East Indians call your nadis. Your energetic centers, which your life force or your chi force flows through. The chambers themselves are the pressure points. The energetic spirals on that your meridians flow through. They vortexes of energies which keep your chi body and physical body healthy. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So that's what he meant by Chamber of Secrets. That's what that was. You see what I'm saying? They had 3 of them before. They had 2 before Prisoner Azkaban. That was Sorcerer's Stone, which is the Sorcerer's Tone. That was Harry finding his tone of magic, his frequency to tap into the magical force. That's what that story about. The Chamber of Secrets was him tapping into his meridian system, his chi body. See what I'm saying? Spirit body. But the Prisoner of Azkaban was shit started to really get serious. This when it started taking a whole new level of science here.
Associated with the colours of Slytherin, and also the fact that green is the colour of the killing curse, another representation of death. And that is all for today. Thank you very much everyone for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and as I always say,
let's see here. Next. How to become a Death Eater. Yeah. How to become a Death Eater or a Darth Eater or a Sorcerer Consumer. You see what I'm saying? A Sorcerer Conjurer. You see what I'm saying? Or a Source Conjurer or a Sorcerer. Let's see.
Theaters were Voldemort's inner circle, his closest and most loyal followers dedicated to carrying out the Dark Lord's work. Many of you may have noticed that not everyone involved with Voldemort were Death Eaters. This was a very special honour amongst those who served him. It was not offered openly, it was earned, through loyalty and dedication, seeking only to serve as payment for being allowed into the Dark Lord's inner circle. So
who was the Dark Lord? I mean, who was the Death Eaters? The Dark Lord's 72 demons. His 72 generals. That in the Goetia, or the 72 Jinn in the Book of Smokeless Fire, which we're going to cover later on in this week.
Was there a series of tests? Did the pledges have to swear an oath? What was Voldemort's requirement of those who wished to be bestowed such an honour by the Dark Lord? The honour of becoming a Death Eater was only to those who provided an immense level of value to the Dark Lord. Those who could offer more than just skills with a wand. Voldemort was a master strategist. He was extremely intelligent. He had a vision and a plan for everything and everyone. I think this reason explains it very well as to why the Death Eaters were such a selective group. Let's look at this a little further. Let's take some of the members of the Death Eater faction. Lucius Malfoy, pure blood, brilliant duelist, born into wealth, had dozens of connections within the ministry, and demonstrated a strong sense of leadership in his Hogwarts days and during the First Visiting War. A person of Lucius's value would be welcomed into the Dark Lord's circle. Or Bellatrix Lestrange, like Lucius, born into wealth and prominence, fiercely strong duelist, highly intelligent, and a fearless leader that would ensure any task issued to her would be completed to the highest standard. Once again, a person of Bellatrix's qualities would be of high value also. It's actually made very clear just how high Voldemort held Bellatrix in regard when he let out a loud scream after she was killed. And what about Severus Snape? Yes, he was a half-blood, and not rich either, but he possessed magical skills far beyond anyone of his age or even older. Highly intelligent, he created many powerful courses, including Sectum Sempra, the Slashing Course, and Levi Corpus, a spell used to dangle an opponent upside down in the air. As well as that, he was probably one of the greatest potioneers who ever stepped foot inside Hogwarts. He was a leader and could close down any emotion he was feeling in order to keep face, another candidate of high value. So as you can see, merit and value was the first requirement to even be considered worthy of a Death Eater position. Now I'm going to cover one more person because I think the comment section will become very crowded if I don't, and that's Peter Pettigrew. aka Wormtail. Why, oh why did he get to be a Death Eater when he feared pretty much anyone who posed a threat to his safety? Wormtail feared Voldemort so much that it made him quite an effective Death Eater, but what was his value? Up until his betrayal of the Potters, Wormtail, acting as a double agent, provided a great advantage for Voldemort over the Order of the Phoenix. This was in turn enough to allow him a place within the Dark Lord's circle. He further proved his value by helping create and then nurse Lord Voldemort while in his rudimentary form. Before officially accepting them as part of the Death Eaters, the Dark Lord would assign them a task to prove their loyalty to him. I believe that Voldemort sought loyalty through sacrifice. By this, I mean he would set each potential Death Eater a task that is tailored to a certain extent of what he requires that person to prove. It is entirely possible that the Dark Lord, through the use of occlumency, chose the task that would challenge their personal beliefs in order to display overwhelming loyalty to him. With his candidates chosen, I then...
Notice they said he chose a task that would challenge their personal beliefs. Why? Why would they do this? Well, that's what the melanin forces do. They challenge your status quo. Because you can't enter into the melanin realm with preconceived notions and the conditioning of this particular society, this fake light that we living in, right? If this is corrupted, if we live in a realm of corrupt light and corrupt darkness, the true and pure melanin needs you to get rid of that shit. Needs you to purge that shit. You see what I'm saying? You can't be walking around in the realm of melanin with those ideals, or you gonna get fucked up. That's basically what he's saying. So that's why he challenged them to their power. That's why he challenged their personal beliefs, cause those personal beliefs had to be dropped so that they could become something new.
Requires that person to prove. It is entirely possible that the Dark Lord, through the use of occlumency, chose the task that would challenge their personal beliefs in order to display overwhelming loyalty to him. With his candidates chosen, I then believe Voldemort would require them to swear an oath of allegiance to him and renounce all other matters of any importance that would interfere with them serving him. If he did create an oath, I believe it would sound something like the following. I hereby swear my life to serve the Dark Lord. May my loyalties to him be true. My allegiance be just, and may I suffer a traitor's death, should I ever stray from my master's call. After which the person would receive the Dark Mark, a magical tattoo imprinted upon the individual's skin, allowing themselves to be called upon their master's calling. The burning sensation alerting them that their master requests their presence. And in conclusion, that's how I believe someone would become a Death Eater. So with that being said, thank you very much for watching today's video, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did enjoy it, then please make sure to give this video a thumbs up, as it helps the video out a great deal, and it also helps the channel to grow. Please continue to share my videos on your Facebook and Twitter accounts. As I said, it helps out the channel in a great deal. And please continue to leave your video suggestions in the comment section below. Your video choice could be next. And finally, if you haven't already, then please consider subscribing.
So, there you go. That's how you become a Death Eater. You gotta drop them beliefs. You gotta throw that shit away. You can't be walking around with that with this ideology that they program you. The ideology that they program with you in this society bad against you through this society. What makes you think you're gonna be able to deal with other societies throughout the cosmos? You bad at making it in this society with these programs and these conditions that they installed inside of you. You see what I'm saying? You bad at making it through this fucking realm that's designed for those beliefs. You see what I'm saying? You still gotta work and slave and do all this other crazy shit. So yeah. Definitely, this is what you got going on. Another thing. When you was dealing with these beings, they always showed you the color green, which is the color of the heart chakra. Why? The reason why they showed you that color is when you vibrate on the heart chakra and higher, you can't be touched or you can't be moved in this society. See what I'm saying? You protect it because you are vibrating on the same frequency as nature and of course Mother Nature. I mean, the same frequency as nature, and of course, Mother Earth or Mother Gaia. You see what I'm saying? So this is what you got going on here. So yeah. Let me see here. Let me see here. The scene I'm looking for. Here we go. Check this out. This them getting broken out of Azkaban. Or given the opportunity to get out of Azkaban, should I say.
There's a storm coming, Harry. We'd all best be ready when she does.
Hold on. Hold on here. Peep this. Peep that. Check out this. Look at how Azkaban looks. It's a triangle. And it resembles what? Your spine. So the prison that we in is a artificial replica of our own natural Kundalini powers. You see what I'm saying? Let me zoom that in. It literally looks like the spine. Of course, the triangle of Trinity. The three forces inside you, which is positive, negative, and neutral. Of course. So the three forces inside you. So where is it at? In the ocean. Why is it in the ocean? Your subconscious and unconscious mind. This is Azkaban. Peep gang here. So this is what I meant by we trapped in Tartarus, which is trapped inside the astral realm. You see what I'm saying? This is a third dimensional prison. It's a magical prison designed for us. And you can't use your powers in this prison to escape because it's a magical prison until you start to vibrate on a frequency higher than this prison. And then you awarded your opportunity to do what? Escape. Like you just seen Bellatrix do here in this particular scene. You see what I'm saying? And then, like I said, they lock you in your subconscious and unconscious mind by doing what? Creating trauma, creating obstacles, creating blockages. Making sure every motherfucker around you, 9 out of 10 people you meet is an Archon, or a reptilian, or insectoid, or werewolves, and vampires, and ghouls, and all other type of weirdo motherfuckers that's in this society. Clones, robots, hell, droids, hell, the list goes on. Drones, shit. The list of motherfuckers that's walking around this society to keep you locked in this prison is damn near infinite. 9 billion people on the planet. Only about 1 billion of us. I said about 3 billion. About 3 billion of us, which is only 1/3 of the planet, actually have souls. You see what I'm saying? The other 2/3 are wardens, overseers, and they designed to go out, seek you out, and keep you suppressed at all times. The Starseed suppressed, the Titan suppressed at all times. So this you got going on here. So definitely. So what was one of the most powerful fight scenes in this particular show? It's when Voldemort and what's your boy name? Dumbledore fought. Now, who is Dumbledore? Dumbledore represents Harry's higher self, of course. Makes sense. So the monstrous forces and the angelic forces collide here. So let us see what's going on here, since that's the theme for this week.
Shall be dead.
Here we go.
Shall be dead.
He created what? A serpent. Once again, that's Kundalini that you seeing. That's Kundalini there that you seeing. He created the serpent force. Now, of course, Dumbledore answered with what? Water. And we're going to get into the water and subconscious and the freezing of the water, which is calcification. We're going to get into all that. But the first thing he creates is the serpent, the resurrection of the Kundalini Shakti. You see what I'm saying? The Kundalini force. So definitely. What's up, Oni? So let's continue here. Pay attention to this scene here, to this moment here. Notice, this is what made Voldemort so dangerous. It wasn't that Voldemort didn't have light in him, because clearly we just seen him harness both his dark power and the light forces, the light angelic forces of Dumbledore, and discharged it into the atmosphere. What color was the energy that was discharged into the atmosphere? It was neutral. It was one big force explosion. And he fucked everything up in the environment. Peep game for that moment. We're going to run that back one more time. We're going to run that back. Peep game. They basically in a fight. He attacked Harry Potter's mind after that. But did you see it? Did you see how this motherfucker harnessed dark and light side forces, melded that shit together, and at least the dark and light forces energies simultaneously knocking even fucking Dumbledore, who was the baddest wizard at the time, backwards. Goddamn, knocked his ass down. Even he couldn't stand up to the force when it's used in this entirety. This is why we tell you need both dark and light forces. When you fuse them bitches together, they become one androgynous energy, and you can use the force as one holistic entity. And as you seen, when fucking Voldemort discharged that force energy as one holistic energy instead of two, the dark or the light, he even was able to knock Dumbledore ass back, and he was the baddest, supposedly the baddest motherfucker here. But see, Dumbledore wouldn't fuck with his dark side. You see what I'm saying? That's why he was having such a hard time with Voldemort. Now, so there you go. Just to show y'all a few scenes. We're gonna get back into that, but we're gonna get back on these Dementors, cause we here to deal with staging this prison break. So now, who are the Dementors? They are the Archons, who are the spiritual jailers, celestial vampires, and world rulers, who when they come around suck the life out of everything around them. They make sure that the Titans remain locked down in Tartarus. You see what I'm saying? They make sure that these motherfuckers remain locked down in Tartarus. They make sure you remain a hollow out husk. And what's worse, they erase your memory so you won't remember that you were a Titan. You see what I'm saying? What was one of the football movies that came out years ago? Remember the Titans. Remember that? Remember that movie there? That was, and they had who? Denzel Washington as the coach, and then they used their milling to go and wipe shit, just go and slay everybody on the football field. You see what I'm saying? They always give you bits and pieces of yourself in these movies. So this what you got going on here. So these Dementors, these vampires, they round here, hemophiliacs, sucking up your energy, sucking up your blood, because the blood is energy too. The blood is liquid soul. So this is what they do: blood sacrificing, energy vamping, always attacking your mind, sucking up your mental energy, keeping you mentally drained. Always got you running to and fro, so you burn out your physical body, so you don't have time to regenerate. That's why they got you working 12, 14, and 16-hour shifts. I know when I was growing up, the motherfucker could work 8-hour shifts and still support themselves. In the 90s, you see what I'm saying? The 90s, in early 2000s, I give you everything up until fucking Bush fucked the country up when he got in office around 2004, 2005. That's when he really started fucking this shit up. So when his ass got in office, that's when this shit started plummeting. You see what I'm saying? So now in this post-apocalyptic America we live in, yes, you in post-apocalyptic America. Everything after the stock market and real estate crash in 2008 has been post-apocalyptic America. That's why it's been about 12 years? Yeah, it's been about 12 years since 2008. Society has degenerated at such an accelerated rate because we're living in post-apocalyptic America. We just don't know it's we know, but the masses don't know that it's post-apocalyptic America. You just drive around your communities, but don't go into the hoods and see the poverty. Go into the rich folks' neighborhood and see how they living, and you gonna see the stress on their face. Now, what they stressed about? They rich, right? They wealthy, right? So what they scared of? What you gonna come find out here is they scared of the fall of this system, their beloved matrix. You see what I'm saying? That's what's going on here. So now, let's get into a little Blade here. Let's get into a little Blade. Blade gonna tell us what these motherfuckers are and why they so goddamn dangerous. These vampires, these Dementors. You see what I'm saying? So let's go over here real quick to our boy. Let's see. Let me get here real quick, and we will continue this onslaught. Here we go. Wrong thing. Go down some more. There we go.
Forget everything that you think you know. Vampires exist. The vampire is an archetypal figure.
Vampires and Archons are one and the same.
The world. The prevalence of vampires and myths from all over the world underscores the fact that vampires exist and are real. But understanding the reality of vampires occurs on two levels: in space and time. In space, vampires are related to the reptilian extraterrestrials. The reptilians are extraterrestrial beings who have a longer life expectancy than human beings, and reptilians secretly control all the governments and religions on planet Earth. The wealthy elite upper class secretly worship and make blood sacrifices to the reptilians, and the reptilians eat human bodies and drink human blood. This is why Christians symbolically drink the blood of Christ, because they are reenacting a vampire reptilian ritual. Christianity is vampirism. Thus, the reptilian vampires are actually the highest social class on Earth, on the top of the food chain. This is why vampires are always depicted as aristocratic blood-sucking immortals. This is why the aristocratic wealthy elite are symbolically called bloodsuckers of the poor. Reptilians also have the ability to shapeshift, and this is why vampires are depicted as having the ability to shapeshift into Batmans. This is also why the comic book character of Batman is a wealthy aristocrat named Bruce Wayne, because he is symbolic of aristocratic vampires and reptilians. The most well-known vampire is named Dracula, which means son of the dragon, and the dragon represents the Draco reptilian extraterrestrials. In reference to time, you have to understand what time you currently live in. Time moves in two opposite cycles, called sun cycles and moon cycles. The sun cycle represents life, and the moon cycle represents death. During each opposing cycle of time, different opposite races of people rule the planet Earth. White people are the opposite of black people. So, during the moon cycle, white people rule the Earth, and during the sun cycle, black people rule the Earth. Since white people are currently ruling the Earth, this lets you know that the current time cycle we are in is the moon cycle, or death. Just like in the horror movies, the vampires are depicted as the rulers of all the undead demons and monsters, and so it follows, white people are the rulers during the moon cycle of the living dead. The word monster means moon star, and the word demon means dead moon. White people are also called Caucasians, which means Caucasian, symbolic of death. Therefore, vampires represent white people. Vampires are most commonly depicted as pale-skinned, to represent melanin recessive white people. Just like vampires are killed by sunlight, the lack of melanin in the skin of white people gives them skin cancer and also kills them. Also, melanin recessive people have a high level of hemophilia, which makes them constantly in need of blood to undergo blood transfusions, since their blood does not contain the necessary factors for clotting. This is vampirism. Have you ever wondered, why does your doctor have to take so many tubes of blood from you just to do one simple blood test? Where is all the extra blood going? The hospital blood banks are just sophisticated ways for real vampires to get all the blood they need. There are not only vampires that subsist on blood, but there are also emotional vampires and psychic vampires who subsist by controlling and manipulating your thoughts and emotions. Just like vampires have no life and must feed on the living in order to survive, white people have also used the institutions of slavery and colonization to build their nations and subsist on the blood, suffering, labor, and life of people of color all over the world. But also, just like vampires, white people cannot directly invade your country or enter your home. You have to invite them in a door. Religion is the tool used to spellbind and hypnotize the living, to worship the dead, to do the will of the dead, for the survival of the dead, to invite the vampires into your life. Religion is the interference of the dead into the lives of the living. The comic book and movie character, named Blade, the vampire hunter, who is a black man, who is half human and half a vampire, is symbolic of black people living during this time of the moon cycle. Blade has all of the strengths of a vampire, but does not have the same weaknesses of a vampire. However, Blade does share one characteristic with the other vampires, and that is the thirst for blood. Blade's thirst for blood is symbolic of black people living during this moon cycle of time, who eat the same carnivorous diet as white people. Blade is called the Daywalker because sunshine does not hurt him. Blade is symbolic of black people who can exist during both the moon cycles and sun cycles of time. This is why the production company that the actor Wesley Snipes used to make the Blade movies was called Amen-Ra Films, named after the ancient Egyptian sun god. Many African cultures discuss vampires, but Beifo is a vampire creature from the folklore of the Ashanti people in West Africa. Simon is a vampire from the mythology of the Dahomey people in West Africa. As is a vampiric being in the folklore of the Aewe people located in the African countries of Togo and Ghana. And Asimbosan, or Sasibasa, is a vampire being from the folklore in the African countries of Togo, Ghana, and Ivory Coast. Finally, the reason why silver kills vampires is because the alchemical symbol for silver is a crescent moon, which is a reminder to the real vampires that once the moon cycle ends, your time is up.
Right. The reason why silver kills vampires, which there's multiple reasons for that. Because, silver heals the white blood cells and strengthens the immunity of your blood. It's raising the vibration, which then goes on to raise the vibration of your physical body. So, because your body is healthy, right? So now, since your vibrations are raised, they can't touch you for real because you are operating out of their field of vision and their field of energy. So you become a daywalker, like Blade. He said he had all of their strengths and none of their weaknesses except the thirst for blood, the hunger. In the good old days, we didn't eat like this. You see what I'm saying? We didn't eat like how we eat now in this particular cycle. Hold on, yeah, we didn't eat like how we did now in this particular cycle because we had a different kind of diet. Matter of fact, we didn't even have a vegetarian diet. We just fed off pure life force energy. We were breatharians. See what I'm saying? We didn't need to kill anything. That's even the vegan diet was a sign of our fall, because plants and fruit have feelings too. They're energy too. So even the vegan diet was a weakness. You see what I'm saying? It was just a sign of us falling. So definitely. This is what you got going on here. So when we was in our full power, we fed off the solar energies and the life force energies, and that's all. We only needed solar energy to feed our melanin, and we only needed life force energy to feed the body. You see what I'm saying? That's all you need. That's all you really need: solar energy and life force energy. Life force energy replenishes your physical being and your spirit. Solar energy replenishes your soul and melanin. See what I'm saying? So that's why he said that was the only weakness we had. The only weakness we had is their thirst. We have to eat more. We have to drink more now, thanks to being in their cycle. You see what I'm saying? And having to live like them on certain levels to survive. It ain't got shit to do with the vegan or the meat diet. It got to do with the fact that we're in this society, period, and we have fallen far from just having to eat and drink solar energies and life force energies. So yeah. So now that we understand what we dealing with here, now that we understand what we dealing with, the $1 million question, Mark, how the fuck do we defeat these niggas? You see what I'm saying? How do we defeat them? Check it out. Harry defeated them with the Expecto Patronum spell, which represented the pure light of his consciousness. So he defeated them with enlightenment. I'm about to show y'all this scene in just a second. You see what I'm saying? He defeated them with enlightenment. Expecto Patronum. It just means to expect, and patron means that you are a natural warrior. You're a natural patron. You're a patriot. You see what I'm saying? Of yourself in this case. You see what I'm saying? Of yourself. You're a natural soul warrior. So let's go over here for a second. Here we go. Now check out this scene. Very powerful scene. I'm gonna have to break this one down for y'all, cause it's such a powerful fucking scene. We're gonna have to break it down step by step. This is when Harry was in the forest with Sirius Black after he was injured in prison of Azkaban. Check out what these Dementors do to him.
Harry, open the door.
God damn. Just flip to the other scene.
Sirius! No. Sirius!
Do you see that? You see how the waters freeze when these motherfuckers show up? What does that represent? That represents calcification of your pineal gland, and the calcification of your pineal gland leads to the calcification of your meridians, which your life force flow through. That's why y'all can't feel your chi flowing through your body, because your meridians have been calcified as well. To calcify means to freeze, by the way. It means to make froze, to sub-zero your ass on all levels. You see what I'm saying? When you see Sub-Zero freeze the motherfucker, he calcifying their ass, slowing their body vibrations up to a point where they literally become frozen in space and time. That's what they did here with us. 32 degrees and below. You see what I'm saying? 32 degrees and below. That's what freezing represents on this plane. You see what I'm saying? So everything below 32 degrees, you are moving. You vibrate so slow that you literally frozen in time, both inside yourself and outside you. And this allows them to feed off you, because you actually vibrating slower than them. You see what I'm saying? Than these Archons, when I said them, by the way. Or these Dementors. See how he still his life force?
Expecto Patronum!
Check out what happened. Boom. His light is repelling him, but it ain't strong enough yet. Watch this. They sucked all his life force out. Now watch what happens. His soul popped out of his body. Now check out what happened over here. So what happened here? At first, his light wasn't strong enough. Although he awoke in Expecto Patronum, he had never had to use his consciousness in a warrior-like way. So as you can see, even with the little light he had, he was able to repel the Dementors. But it was such an overwhelming amount of Archons that he couldn't repel them all. But as you seen later on in the movie, is also Harry again, who comes back through time, who manipulates time and space, him and Hermione. Now he got the feminine energy with him. He was unbalanced. He was only tapping into his masculine energy in that scene. So him and Hermione was together, the feminine and masculine energies. Now he was able to tap into the full power of his consciousness. And it was so strong that it became a deer, or the Baphomet, as we know it, the Christos. You see what I'm saying? Because the deer is the cousin of the goat in America. So you seen the Baphomet. That's what you seen when you seen that giant light being that deer. That was the Christos. The Baphomet is the occult Christos. So he unleashed his full inner soul power, his soul consciousness, and that shit was so strong that it reverberated all their ass back, showing you it repelled all them fucking Archons. All them niggas had to leave the scene. They had to get up and go because that frequency was too high for they dark ELO extra low frequencies. You see what I'm saying? Vibrations. So they had to bounce. You see what I'm saying? They had to get the fuck up out of there before they ceased to exist. So it repelled their ass. And what you seen Sirius Black's soul go back into his body. You see what I'm saying? Which is also a scene itself. A lot of motherfuckers don't believe that the soul exists. Well, they just showed you in the movie that motherfucker exists. You see what I'm saying? That divine spark inside of you. It's a little sun, a little bright sun inside of you. And the more you work with that soul, the stronger it'll get. And it'll start to get bigger and bigger until it erupts into your electromagnetic space. And you become the living sun, the living rook. You see what I'm saying? The living root. You see what I'm saying? So now you're the walking sun. See, the day walker, the star walker, the sky walker, the walking sun, the living sun. Because the sun not just inside of here now, it has projected into your electromagnetic energy field. And now those solar energies are actually distorting and warping reality in such a way that it benefits not only yourself, but the world at large. So that's how that works. Now, Expecto Patronum reminds us of another character who also had to tap into this powerful force. You see what I'm saying? This powerful force. And his name was Spawn. You see what I'm saying? Spawn. So let's see what Spawn got to say here. Let's see what Spawn got to say about this particular situation. You know, what was his gifts? So let's go on over there to him. Here we go. Check it out. Okay, it's just too bright.
There's a war going on outside. No man is safe from.
Yep.
The war is the eternal war between God and the devil, heaven and hell, angels and demons. Each side has its army and soldiers. The war is over the souls of humans. One of the recruits into this war was Al Simmons. The name Al is related to the Hebrew word El, which is found in the names of the angels and demon soldiers in the war of heaven and hell, like Gabriel, Michael, and Samael. In life, Al Simmons was an atheist and highly trained Black Ops soldier and assassin for the CIA. Once he begins to question the justification for the missions he is being sent on, his boss betrays him and orders Al to be killed. Al is killed by being burned alive by his friend and co-worker named Bruce Stinson, codenamed Chapel, who paints his face in the same manner as a voodoo priest who creates zombies. Little do they know, this action by Chapel will lead to Al becoming a reanimated corpse, or zombie, with superpowers, named Spawn. The Spawn comics were published by Image Comics, which also published another popular comic about zombies called The Walking Dead. After death, Al goes to hell because he was an atheist, and because of all the killing he did as a soldier and assassin in life. Once in hell, Al makes a deal with the devil where he promises to lead the devil's army in return for the opportunity to see his wife Wanda one more time. Once Al acquiesces to the devil's deal, he is resurrected as a hell spawn, or spawn, infused with dark energy matter, called necroplasm, and a symbiotic suit bonded with his central nervous system, which grants him the powers of super strength, super speed, super agility, endurance, the ability to heal, immortality, teleportation, shape-shifting, the ability to resurrect the dead, and the ability to project necroplasmic energy blasts. Once resurrected, Spawn functions as an anti-hero. Ultimately, Spawn refuses to lead the army of hell against heaven and turns away from evil. But also, Spawn refuses to be a pawn used by heaven in the war against hell, as he realizes that both sides have blood on their hands. He decides to be a holy warrior on the middle path and fights against the forces of heaven and hell. In one issue, Spawn fights against God and Satan and was able to transport them to another dimension. The colors of Spawn's suit, red, black, and white, are the colors of the voodoo Norse named Deliwa, Eshu, or Populi, the guard of the crossroads between life and death. The primary color of Spawn's suit is black, and the story of Spawn mirrors the ancient Egyptian Osiris myth, with Osiris being known as the Lord of the Perfect Black. Osiris is also depicted as the color green, which is the color of Spawn's necroplasmic energy. In the Osiris myth, the wife of Osiris, named Isis, is the cause for his resurrection, and Al Simmons' wife, named Wanda, is the cause for Spawn's resurrection. In the story of Osiris, he did not impregnate his wife in life, and in the story of Spawn, he also was unable to impregnate his wife in life. The creator of the Spawn comic book character said that he originally envisioned Spawn to be from outer space, rather than the underworld. The ancient Egyptians, who worshipped Osiris, used the star symbol to indicate both outer space and the underworld, which they called the Duat. In outer space, Osiris was symbolized by the constellation of Orion, which the ancient Egyptians called Sahu. The ancient Egyptians believed that the stars did not just inhabit this world, but the stars also existed in the land of the afterlife as well. The ancient Egyptians believed that your soul could ascend to the sky to live as a star in heaven. The story of spawn from life, death, and resurrection mirrors many other myths from antiquity of zombie gods or dying and rising deities, including Osiris, Tammuz, and Jesus Christ.
Yep. Now, Spawn, a hell Spawn, he wore a melanin suit. He wore a melanin suit that bound to his physical body. He was burned alive, which is the purification process, right? He gained this suit, which was melanin. It gave him supernatural powers. He also gained a cape. The cape represents the Ka. Cape, the root word of cape is Ka, which is spirit. So that's his spirit energy. You see what I'm saying? The physical manifestation of it, in a way. He had green necroplasmic energy. For some reason, why we always see green connected with black in all these stories? Because the emotions, the heart chakra, and melanin actually feed each other. You see what I'm saying? Because your subconscious mind, which is the darkness, the duat, as they say, the underworld, is fueled by emotion. That's why the color is always green. See what I'm saying? It's fueled by emotion. It's not fueled by logic like your conscious mind is. Your subconscious mind, like they tell you in the movie Inception, is fueled by emotion, energy, and motion. You see what I'm saying? So that's what you got going on here. So he also had to tap into his powers to do, to resurrect and do the things he had to do. And so this was a representation of what Harry had to do. Pure light consciousness. That's the only way he could defeat these Archons. That's the only way. You see what I'm saying? Because as long as you stay locked down here, you're going to see shit that you wouldn't see nowhere else because you in prison. And what do you see in a prison? You see hell. You see motherfuckers acting out. They savage, but in truth, they under a spell. Order 66, or Yaldabaoth spell 616, which equals 13, the lockdown frequencies of this particular dimension. You see what I'm saying? This prison dimension, which we know is torturous. So yeah, this is what you got going on here. But, like I said, it's always hope. We all have this raw magical power as well. Now it's time for us to embrace it. Go within, do the internal work, have your Kundalini awaken, do the shadow work, and ascend upward so you can break forth outwardly, like Sirius Black did. You see what I'm saying? Like Sirius Black did. So now, what we got going on here? Sirius Black was the only motherfucker ever escape Azkaban, which was supposed to be an impossible prison. See what I'm saying? Due to Heru Patal's work, he was able to help his brother, because you know him and Anubis is brothers. His brother, he was able to clear his name through leveling up and fully ascending into his godlike consciousness. You see what I'm saying? Source light, his supernatural light that he was soul light that he was able to project out in the form of Expecto Patronum spell. You see what I'm saying? Save his people. So he was able to do what? Clear Sirius Black, the dog star Anubis' name. So what are we doing? We are clearing our ancestors' name and purging their DNA of all of the traumas and blockages and shit that's keeping our bloodlines and soul lines from fully activating and from fully projecting outwardly into this world. That's what's going on here. So, but when you tap into this raw primal power, you start to tap into what? The only true path to power is what? Going into the dark, the Da'af, the Darth Vader. You see what I'm saying? The Dark Father. You got to become that Dark Father like Darth Vader did. So what happened when Darth Vader fully tapped into this raw power inside of him? Well, let's find out. What did he have to become to fully embrace the power within? Well, let's find out. Here. Let us find out. This the Dark Lord resurrection. The resurrection of Osiris, Anubis. So there y'all go. The resurrection of Asa. The resurrection of Anubis. The resurrection of Thanos, the Greek titan of death. The resurrection of Baron Samedi, the Orishan god of the underworld. You see what I'm saying? But why he had a red lightsaber instead of a green lightsaber? Because the red represents you coming to make war on this physical plane. That's why the Sith rock red lightsabers. Because the red, it represents the root chakra. You harnessing those draconic survival instincts and frequencies to fuck this shit up on a physical plane. Your physical empathy. You see what I'm saying? Your Jedi Force here. You see what I'm saying? And you gonna fuck this shit up here. That's what you seeing. And that's what's going on. And it's your dark power, your dark force, your melanin that's slowly but surely shutting this system down. That's why it's breaking down one piece at a time. You see what I'm saying? First, they shut down religion because that was the most binding of all the shit down here. They had to shut it down. So you can't go to church no more. Next, they shut down the school system. They're trying to get you to go back to school, though, because they need to re-indoctrinate your kids. They've been too free for too long. See what I'm saying? And they trying to kill off as many of them as possible. So don't send your kids back to school. Word of advice: don't send your kids back to school. So you got that. You got that. You gonna break this system down? Cause what? They even tell you in the motherfucking Book of Revelation, your boy Jesus don't come back to make peace. He come back to make war. And what? They say his blood will bathe. They say his blade will bathe in the red glow of blood. That's why Darth Vader and the Sith Lords rocking red lightsabers. And what the fuck they doing with this story? The revenge of the Sith, the revenge of the Death Eaters. Do you see what I'm saying? The revenge of the Star Seeds, the Star Nations, is us rocking that red blade, the red glow of the blood that will be shed when we go and fuck these niggas up in the great astral war to come. You see what I'm saying? So this you got going on here. This you got going on. That's why all the Sith rock red lightsabers. The Sith is us. See what I'm saying? The Jedi is the Cabal soothsayers, conjurers, occultists, Freemasons. Hell, whatever, and the list goes on. Shriners. Hell, we can go on all day. The false Buddhist monks and the fake Brahmins and hell, the conquistadorian Latinos that's in power right now. Yada yada motherfucking yada. Right? So this you got going on here. This you got going on. So this is what it is. We came to make war. When you came to make peace, that's what you just seen in this scene. The resurrection of these death gods. You see what I'm saying? Your Asars, your Anubises, your Thanoses, and your Baron Samedis around this motherfucker. And they came to make war. You see what I'm saying? Your Bridget Mamones, another goddess of death. You see what I'm saying? Your Helas, another goddess of death. You see what I'm saying? They came to make war unput. You know, another goddess of death. You see what I'm saying? They didn't come down here to make friends with these motherfuckers. That's why you catching hell. Because they know that you are the destroyers that was prophesied in the last days that come and destroy their matrix, which is what's happening before your eyes. The whole matrix is crumbling. Not just America. America is the beacon. You see what I'm saying? Just like they showed you in the first Purge, those twin towers was the beacon to let us know if this is a success. Well, America is the beacon to let us know that this is a success. So when America falls, and it's gonna fall, of course, it's gonna fall. That's the sign that everything else in this matrix is gonna fall, because all the world's wealth, the economy, and everything is tied to America. You see what I'm saying? The great beast. You see what I'm saying? The great worldly beast. You know, I don't like to say, you know, you got the inner beast and the worldly beast. You see what I'm saying? The great whore, as they said. You know, that's been going around fucking everybody out their shit for the last 200 and goddamn, or 220 to 30 years they've been in existence. 1776 was, I know it's over 200 years. You see what I'm saying? So there you go. So there you go. There you go. Now, the last piece of this is, you know, got a lot of motherfuckers out here attacking the book reading for some reason. You know, and it's time to bang on that. You know, this will be the last part of the lecture here. Why is what is this idea that you don't need to read the books, the occult knowledge, the occult text? You know, where did this idea come from? It came from the 13th Son and all them dirty morals around 2014, where they came out and they tried to suppress, because, you know, you had Brother Panic, who was rising up between 2010 and 2013. And so to slow that down, it was a new generational awakening. So to slow that shit down, they started telling motherfuckers to come out. They started coming out and telling motherfuckers not to read the occult text. Oh, they spellcraft, even though all this shit is a spell. You see what I'm saying? This whole dimension is a spell. So it don't fucking matter what you read. You see what I'm saying? The least you can do is read the books and study these exercises in the book. And it's actually their guidelines, their magical guidelines for your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind actually build programs with these exercises and these magical texts. You see what I'm saying? And so what happens with these magical texts? Later on, when you gain a certain level of emotional one day, these programs activate. Your subconscious mind use these emotional energy to activate those programs. And that's why you all of a sudden awaken these abilities. You see what I'm saying? So this is what you got going on here. This is what you got going on. So they came out with this, don't read the books, don't do this, which is highly hypocritical of them, because you go back into his early videos and shit, this nigga reading books and reciting shit out the books. Now, are you gonna get to a level where you don't need them as much? Of course. You know, you do anything long enough, your mind automatically creates what you like to call auto rituals inside of you. Auto rituals is when you have done something so much through repetition that your mind and spirit automatically does the work for you instead of you having to go in and do it yourself. And they call auto rituals. You see what I'm saying? So this is what you got going on. That's the importance of book reading. Some of the things you need for this philosophy. Philosophy means to know and to learn. It rebuilds your neural network, which in turn expands your consciousness. You see what I'm saying? Then, of course, the more you know, the faster you grow. Our ancestors also wrote and read books. You see what I'm saying? Another important note before I get to that. Also, when you lack certain information, your spirit will not allow you to tap into your deeper abilities, because you simply is not aware of their reality. You see what I'm saying? You're not aware of their reality. So it will keep them locked away until you become aware of their particular reality, that where you can access those abilities, until you reach those deeper states of consciousness. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's so much easier that to, you know, read the books, because it saves time actually to read books and listen to the audiobooks. If you're not a big reader, listen to the audiobooks then. You see what I'm saying? But it saves time actually to read the books and listen to the audiobooks or whatever, because it would have taken you maybe 5-10 years to figure this shit out on your own, just off natural intuition. The books help you accelerate what you need to know so you can keep it moving, so you can bring balance to that particular aspect of yourself, so you can do what you need to do. And of course, our ancestors read books. You see what I'm saying? Let's go over here. Let me show you pictures of this shit. Let me show you pictures of this shit real quick. Let's see here. Show you pictures. Here go a picture of a Dementor before we keep it moving. Yeah, Archons. You see what I'm saying? They exist, as Blade would say. But now let us continue. These, oh damn, that shit bright as hell. You don't even need no brightness for that. These is what your ancestors read. These books. See what I'm saying? Your ancestors read these books, these tomes. You see what I'm saying? These grimoires. All means to spell work or the word, or to speak or to utter. You see what I'm saying? Because even when you read, you're reading with the silent voice in your mind. So you're uttering the words in your mind. So you're casting the spells in your mind when you read. That's why reading is so powerful. Read also means re-add. Re means soul or son, and add means to acquire. You see what I'm saying? To bring more in. You see what I'm saying? So this you got going on is all mystical mathematics. See what I'm saying? So your ancestors read these giant tomes. Shout out to Return to I. These are pictures that he found doing his research. See what I'm saying? Look at that. That's what they call the Book of the Devil, which I'm gonna show a scene on that in just a second. The Book of the Devil. Giant fucking book. Look at all these books in the scene, these tomes. These books bigger than they ass. You see, because our ancestors was giants. You see what I'm saying? They was 7, 9, 12, 15, and 20 feet tall. And if you go way back, they was up to 50 feet tall. You see what I'm saying? Back into the good old days. So yeah, look at these books. This 5, 6 foot motherfucker can barely even hold the book. He had to put it down on the ground just to look through the pages. See what I'm saying? So this is what they got in their museums, they libraries, they little records and shit. So check it out. Check out what they said here, and we'll wrap this up today.
Early 12th century in the Benedictine monastery of Bodlagisa in the Codex Gigas, also known as the Devil's Bible, due to the large illustration of the devil on the inside of the giant book. It is also connected to the legend surrounding its creation. It is largely thought to have been created in the early 12th century in the Benedictine monastery of Bodlagisa in Bohemia. According to legend, the Codex was created by a character known as Herman the Recluse in the Benedictine monastery near Cherdim in the Czech Republic.
Herman the Recluse must have been one big tall motherfucker. Cause look how big this book is. Look how big that shit is, y'all. That must have been a giant in that motherfucker. This David versus Goliath story, Goliath was the Goliath represented the giants. Them was a big motherfuckers. You see what I'm saying? Them giant black Moors, them giant black Murs. You see what I'm saying? The Moors. So yeah. So definitely.
Monastery was destroyed sometime in the 15th century during the Hussite Revolution. The Codex was thankfully rescued and taken to the Benedictine monastery in Brzezinov. From 1477 to 1593, it was kept in the library of a monastery until it was taken to Prague in 1594 to form part of the collections of the Emperor Rudolf II. In 1648, it was taken as war booty by the Swedish army. In 1697, it would escape destruction again when a fierce fire broke out at the royal castle in Stockholm, subsequently destroying the royal library. The Codex was rescued from the flames by being thrown from a window. According to the vicar, Johan Erikssons, the Codex landed on a bystander, injuring him quite badly. In September 2007, after 359 years of changing hands in numerous ways, the Codex Gigas was returned to the National Library in Stockholm. But what makes the Codex?
Why they can't destroy this book? Why they can't destroy our text? Peak game here. A whole royal library got burned down. This shit that survived multiple wars. Why they can't survive it? Because they spellcrafted. They enchanted. they were enchanted by ancestors so that they would survive the test of time. So that when we reawaken once again, we will have more proof of the knowledge and power of our ancestors. You see what I'm saying? So this represents the knowledge aspect because, of course, it's natural tone. But it also represents power because it survived all this crazy shit that was going on at the time. You see what I'm saying? In the book of the devil, really, you mean tell me the Catholic Church ain't burned this shit? Come on, y'all. Come on now.
Particularly special and worthy of further investigation are the characteristics within the writings of this enormous book, which astonishingly support the story of it being created in just one sitting. A National Geographic documentary included interviews with manuscript experts who argued that certain evidence, in particular the handwriting analysis and the long-standing credit to Herman Inclusus, aka Herman the Recluse, indicate the manuscript was indeed, somehow, the work of just one scribe. According to the historical legend, which was already
It was the work of one scribe because he was a giant. They don't want to tell you that, right? He was a black giant. Herman Inclusus was a black fucking giant. And they don't want to just say it out loud. See what I'm saying? They don't want to just say it out loud because then they will fuck up their story, their narrative. You see what I'm saying? Let's continue here.
Academically recorded by the Middle Age. The scribe was a monk who broke his monastic vows and was sentenced to be walled up alive.
Damn.
In order to avoid this harsh penalty, he promised to create, in one night, a book to glorify the monastery forever. This book would include all human knowledge. Near midnight, he became sure that he could not complete this task alone, so he made a special prayer, not addressed to God, but to the fallen angel Lucifer, asking him to help finish the book in exchange for the monk's soul. The devil would accept this deal.
Peep gang. The fallen angel Lucifer is your soul in exchange for his soul. But his soul and Lucifer are one and the same. Peep gang here. See, they don't know what the fuck they talking about. If when he prayed to Lucifer, he prayed to his own soul to get this shit done. In exchange for a so-called his soul. But his soul and Lucifer's soul are one and the same. So he didn't exchange shit. He just tapped in. He just tapped into a greater aspect of himself. Let's continue here.
To help finish the book in exchange for the monk's soul. The devil would accept this deal. Completing the rest of the manuscript, the monk would add the devil's picture out of gratitude for his help. Many specialists within the area of writing, forensic analysis, and also numerous replication attempts have indicated that the level of uniformity within the writings lean towards the impossible. Not only does it strongly indicate that the book was created in just one sitting, but is perfectly scribed throughout, a feat considered to be beyond that of human capabilities. The analysis also shown that the writings alone, if written by one person, would take over 5 years to complete, with the additional illustrations adding another 20. Yet it must be noted, it has been concluded on many occasions that no mere mortal is capable of such uniform writings within this time period. There would have inevitably been some form of evolution within the style. Of course.
So they telling you right there, ain't no mortal write this shit. You see what I'm saying? Ain't no mortal write this. God wrote this. Or the devil. God and the devil is one and the same. See what I'm saying? So let's continue here. Which is your soul. The dark and light aspects of your soul.
It must be remembered, although there is a highly compelling story attached to the origins of this giant book, its creation still largely remains a mystery. How big would you have to be for it to comfortably rest in one's lap? What sort of person, if of course it was a person, could have written the Codex Gigas? And how did they write it? It is most certainly one of the world's most mysterious books.
Mystery history. Well, my story history, our story history. So there y'all go. There y'all go. Cuz wrote that book in one day. Cuz wrote that book in one day. He tapped into his soul power. Even did the illustrations on their asses by himself. You see what I'm saying? That was a giant. A giant god who tapped into his power, and through that power Cause see, through that power, he was able to write this book. Why was these guys so powerful back then, but the world so fucked up now? What happened between now and then? What happened is these Archons got busy. You see what I'm saying? With shit like that going on in the world, they had to put in work over the next. We said 12th century, so we're looking at what, the year 1200, 1100, yeah, 1100, 1200, somewhere up in there. So the year 1100, the motherfuckers had to put in work over the next 900 years. You see what I'm saying? Or they had to alter time in such a way that motherfuckers wouldn't be able to tap into those abilities so easily. You know, with this apparatus that we living in. So they had to kill off a lot of people. You see what I'm saying? A lot of spiritualists, magical scientists, alchemists, yada 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 yada. So there y'all go. But know that you have the ability to escape this Azkaban prison. This you have we prisoners of Azkaban, true, but you have the ability to escape this through the light of your consciousness, the light of your soul, and the will of your divine flame, or your tomb, or your inner belly fire that sits inside of your belly. All three of these suns operating together can get you up out this motherfucker. You can prison break yourself out of this. The only thing you waiting on now is for the world to catch up with you. You see what I'm saying? The world to catch up. You came here to destroy this prison, to destroy Azkaban, or Tartarus, as it's also called. Came here to destroy Tartarus, so no other being in existence ever had this problem ever again. At least not in this way. You see what I'm saying? For this particular plane of existence. Quite sure there are multiple Tartaruses set up in Yaldabaoth, the Dementors realm. But this is the biggest one that we know. So destroying this will be a big fuck you to that nigga and his Archonic world rulers. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, there y'all go, his Archonic host. So there it is, y'all. There it is. The prisoners of Azkaban and how to defeat the Dementors. You see what I'm saying? The soulless, the celestial vampires, the world rulers, the spiritual jailers. See what I'm saying? So there y'all go. I'll take a couple questions before I get up out of here. Any questions? There you go, Gigi. There's Lucy in the movie. Lucy, she channeled the red line when making that movie. That red line, that sword of fire. Devin, the name of the channel. I'm gonna thank y'all. Ask me about Big Head Scientists. Those videos I've been using a lot lately. That's from the channel Big Head Scientists on YouTube. So yeah, Big Head Scientists. There you go, Devin. The only way to break out of this shit is through your soul, baby. Yeah. The only way to break out of this shit through your soul. No ands, ifs, or buts. No compromise, no nothing. You gotta get through. You gotta do the soul work, the internal work, the shadow work, the kundalini work, the chakra work to get the fuck up out of here. You see what I'm saying? So yeah. There you go. There y'all go. Thanks, bro. Good work. Like always, highly appreciate. No problem. Javon, so basically laws were meant to protect them because they not supposed to be here and can't operate without them. Right. Legalese, the whole system known as legalese. Y'all can look that up. It's Legalize. Legalize was a magical legal system created to bind the Titans to this fucking realm known as Taurus. Because before that, we were free sovereign beings. See what I'm saying? So they came over here, set up this United States corporation, and they created the White House, which is actually the Archons' house, and they created this program, this political program with the help of the Berbers, the Moors, and First, they created the Articles of Confederation. Then they refined it into the Constitution as y'all know it, U.S. Constitution. So y'all know they had 7 presidents originally in the Articles of Confederation. 7 Moorish presidents. These Berber Moors sold us out over here. Sold us into the prison system. Because we was the last remaining people on the planet. See, everybody else had already been locked down by these motherfuckers in the East. They had already got their asses. You see what I'm saying? I think the only motherfuckers they was having problems with was the Japanese samurai and a lot of the Asian warrior monks. You see what I'm saying? But they burned down the Shaolin Temple about 500 years ago. Around the same time they started trying to enslave us. So that's when they conquered China. They started burning down all the Shaolin temples and killing and slaughtering all the warrior monks at the time. So the only other motherfuckers that was left was the Japanese samurai and the shinobi. You know, they gave them hell. So us and them were the only 2 strongholds left 500 years ago when they started conquering the world. They defeated the samurai, the daimyo. They defeated them and suppressed the shinobi. When they did that, we was the only paradigm left to conquer. So they spent the next 500 years shutting us down because we went to war with their asses. We went to war with them. We even beat them in their legal system, and they had never seen that before. You know, the Washita, the Tunica, as I've told y'all, actually defeated them in their own legal system. Even created treaties with these motherfuckers. Tried to work with their asses. And they still, you know, went and assassinated all the royal leaders. You see what I'm saying? As much as they can. On all levels. So yeah. So once they spent 100 years just assassinating all the royal indigenous leaders of our land, there was no one else left to tell the story for real. So that's how you lost your memory. One that your ancestors didn't tell you, just the motherfuckers who had the knowledge they killed off. That's what it was really about. You see what I'm saying? So definitely, that's what's going on here. Definitely. Javon, black people happy about that. They happy about that because they up under the spell. And each generation, the y'all the boy spell 616 gets stronger. So that's why these generations seems more distorted than the last. The generations are actually getting worse up under this arcane spell. They're not getting better. That's a false lie. They say each generation gets better. Bullshit. Each generation getting worse because the spell gets stronger with each generation. Because they have a new set of programs to fuck up the next generation. More than they fucked us up. You see what I'm saying? So definitely. So yeah. So there you go. That's what it is. That's why that's how their legal system is fucking us up. Until you awaken and you start to break the chains on this motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? These spiritual chains that was binding you to this third dimensional program. Then you become free. So yeah. So now you just working, keeping the faith in yourself in your soul to get through this shit. And then we gonna fuck these niggas up in the Great War. Oh, we gonna enjoy that shit. We gonna bask. It ain't never been some motherfuckers who deserve this ass whooping more than these beings here. Down here. Alright. Javon, exactly. Like they tell us black people invented this and that so it binds us. They invented shit so you have something cause if you left it to the fucking white boy, your ass was just been picking cottons with your hands. Hell, black people invented the technologies so you wouldn't have to work that hard down here. See what I'm saying? Because technology actually frees you up so you can have time to study and learn. If they had created these technologies, your ass would still be in the wood, backwoods somewhere with picks and axes trying to build something. You know, just trying to pick shit for their asses. So that's why they built these technologies. But as you notice, they didn't get too advanced with the technologies because they didn't want you too free. You know, that's why they kept the other 6,000 which I know is a lie. It's about 50 to 100,000 patents at this point. And that's just from the last 120 years. We're not even talking about our ancestral technologies and blueprints and black prints and shit that they got locked down up under the Vatican and all other type of museums. Museums are actually storage centers for our ancient information, which is about 10 fucking, every museum is like, underground basis is like 10 to 15 floors deep. 10 to 15, maybe even 20 floors deep. Pete Gang will watch the movies Angels and Demons. Y'all see what I'm talking about. When they went up under the ground, and you see all our advanced technologies and shit up underground. Pete Gang. So checking that out. Check that out. So there y'all go. If I could put up the scene, I would show it to you. Matter of fact, if I can find it. Let's see, Angels and Demons. If they have it online, under the Angels and Demons movie, under the Vatican. There we go. Let me see here. Let me see, part 3.
Must be 100 statues out there.
Can't find it on the spot, y'all. But yeah, y'all can go check out the movie. Y'all go check out the movie. And they show you what's on the ground. Some just one level. They had an elevator that go down multiple levels. So the deeper the levels, the more advanced technologies and scrolls and mystical sciences. You see what I'm saying? So it only shows you one level in the Vatican, and that shit expanded way back. You see what I'm saying? Way back. I think that shit expanded all the way back towards the whole state of what they call Rome. See what I'm saying? Rome at this point. So there y'all go. There y'all go. There you go, Alexis. National Treasure tells you too. National Treasure tells you too. But alright, y'all. I'm gonna get on up out of here. I'm Marvin Jones. Y'all share this with your friends. Let them know where it is. Let them know what's going on. Y'all want to check out my other occult lectures? Hit me up at the Metal Now Order on YouTube. And if y'all want to donate, Cashapp me at mcjnetwork. And I'm out. Peace.